in yoga, we talk about self-realization, liberation for that matter, right? But for that, you need to follow a set of rules. Set of rules for yoga, which we refer to as cleansing the body. To begin with, we start cleansing the body, mind, emotions. A simple thing as the candles that we end up looking and staring at the flame, that improves your concentration, improves your focus. It helps you release a lot of emotions because you're staring at it without blinking your eyes.
Thanks for the gummies, by the way.
Yeah. Thanks for the gummy.
And the tea.
Pleasure. Cheers to that.
And
cheers to that, Varoon.
welcome to the garden. Oh, fucking hell, I said welcome. But yes.
This is part 2, we have to say. We already did one.
Yes.
Like a year ago or something.
Yeah. Almost a year ago.
Almost a year ago.
October last year.
Yeah.
October last year.
Was very exciting. We learned a lot.
And for all the people listening that don't know Varoon, you can go listen to the first episode. But to give somewhat of an introduction, Varoon is very...
Oh, fucking hell.
Varoon is...
I think it's okay.
I think it's good too. He's very knowledgeable in meditation, in yoga, in
patience.
spiritual patience, everything. He knows a lot.
Right.
And
do you have a title?
What title as what?
Like I'm a physical therapist. He's a homeless.
Oh.
Like, what are you?
A title. I personally don't have any title. Some of them have called me a lot of things, from being calling me an idiot to everything for that matter. So I personally don't identify myself with any title per se. For now, we can call Chaos in Harmony with the sound background. Yeah.
Mm.
So is it okay to call you a meditation guru?
Yes, it is all right. It is all right. Some people have called me that.
Yeah.
Yogi as well. Some people have referred to me as a guru as well. Some of them have mentioned that some of the deep spiritual individuals have mentioned that I'm a soul saver as well, because of the experiences that they've had. So I don't know. You can call me anything.
Yeah.
My parents call me Varoon, so these are the labels that I have, or the titles that I have. That's all.
And then you also have a non-profit organization that's called Mooladhara, right?
Yes.
Mooladhara.
It's eye consciousness.
Oh, eye consciousness.
Eye consciousness is the non-profit organization.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mooladhara, though.
Mooladhara is more from the perspective of being more material.
Mm-hmm. Because that is Mooladhara. It's the first chakra in the Indian system. Is that right?
Correct.
What is that?
The root chakra.
Okay.
The root of the foundation of your material world. To manifest anything, you need to bring in your energies and materialize it in the real sense, where you can tangible sense for that matter. So that's Mooladhara.
How do we quantify the chakras? Is there any, it's kind of difficult to prove, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So it's only perception. It's an individual perception, I would say, and it is difficult to prove. The only furthest the proof that we have found medically is the nervous system.
Yeah.
And the nervous system that ends at the 7 parts of the body itself. The central nervous system being here, an accumulation of the neurons are right here, and the nervous system that moves down. There are centers right here where the nervous systems are accumulated right there. When you do the what do you say, a scanning
break.
One break, real quick. What?
Okay, sorry about that, folks. We had a little technical issue. Varoon, we were talking about the nervous system in terms of the chakras, right?
Chakras, yeah. That's the most tangible proof that we have at the moment from the yogic system, which we refer to. With regards to the perception of chakras, from the Chinese perspective, the chakras are a little different, or the meridians are a little different. Whereas the Indian perspective, the nadis, we refer to that as nadis, or the neural pathways, like the meridians, if you guys are aware of.
Yeah.
So that's basically the most that we know. And every individual, say, system of beliefs of some sort is mainly focused on how you believe in it or you don't believe in it, and how you are able to experience it. So
What about the glands, like the endocrine system?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we have 7 glands, right? And they are located pretty much in the
close to
same
the
order.
same
Yeah,
order,
so we have
yeah.
the
Yes.
reproductive glands
Pineal
up to
gland,
the pineal gland,
thyroid gland.
thyroid gland. Yeah.
yeah.
Where is in the heart?
The heart itself is a gland.
It's a gland?
If you, yeah.
Okay.
It's that's where the emotional intelligence part, which is now being researched,
Yes.
we talk about why the frequency of the heart changes, and you can measure the frequency of the heart now as well.
Yeah.
So
So maybe it's correlated, maybe it's not. We don't really know, right?
So far we don't know, but it is mentioned in the text.
Yeah.
Do we know
So-
where it originates from? The chakra system? Is there a source?
There is where it originates from. I think as humans we were very curious about how and who we are,
Mm-hmm.
and understanding the self, and that's how we ended up doing a lot of research individually. I wouldn't want to talk about where it originated,
Yeah.
because it becomes like, it is from this country or from that people or this people.
Okay.
I would rather put it in a way where it is from humans' curiosity, a human curiosity to
Mhm.
understand and learn about things. That's how we started observing the stars, the constellations and things. So it's human curiosity to learn about the intelligence, the evolution, the mental or mind intelligence, or the evolution started happening. And we're still evolving. We're still stuck in the animal part of us, right?
Yeah.
That's why the wars are
are.
still happening.
But we also have a very different. We have that urge to always develop and
True.
invent.
True.
What do you think that comes from?
That comes from pure curiosity, and majority of it is programmed to us, I would say, because as a child, you just leave the child without even telling what it needs to do, and it discovers itself.
Yeah.
But whereas we end up in the name of education, we put literacy in terms of telling them what to do, how to eat. Oh, you need to use this is fork and this is knife. You got to cut it this way, and you got to pick it up and eat it this way. So this is programming.
Is that wrong?
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right either. I'm talking about where did this idea of this come from? It's all borrowed ideas and information. For us, doing this podcast is also a borrowed idea, right? And it all was happening before as a gathering and discussion, and individuals would end up doing this, and then people started finding out about the social media, and then from there we put that data and information and discussion on the platform. So it spread across. So it reached more masses.
Yeah, you and I had a fascinating conversation a few days ago.
Yeah.
And with Mikkel also.
Yeah.
I don't remember half of it. If any, I just remembered it was very fascinating, and I learned a lot. We were at the Jacob's wedding, by the way.
Yes.
And, yeah.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
As you can see here,
Yeah.
But
I got married.
But from what I remember, we talked a lot about kids and raising kids. And you don't have any kids yourself, because you said something about you wanted to help
It's
people
a choice.
focus your
It's a
energy on
choice.
that.
By choice, we're not having kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you don't want to send kids into this cruel world.
No. It's not a cruel world.
No, it's not.
It's only how much of the cruelty is amplified and screamed into your ears and
Yeah.
shown into your eyes is what you end up seeing. I live in Ukraine, right? And most of the individuals here didn't know that, okay, most part of the Ukraine is still peaceful.
Yeah.
You can still visit and help raise the economy there by visiting and traveling as a tourist. It helps, and that's part of my job as well, to show what is happening there and what is the part which is in the war and which is the part not affected and where you can visit.
So it's actually pretty safe to live there.
I've been there for 3 years now, even after the war started.
Yeah.
So it's parts of it is still safe to live there, and it is going to be all right, and it is going to be it's a place for every individual to go visit and explore the
you said something.
culture.
You said something to me about the nearest place of war in Ukraine is like 1,000 kilometers from where you live, right?
Yeah.
That's a long distance.
It is,
And
but the
we don't know
missiles
that.
do end up hitting certain cities.
But that's
But it's all like my wife and I visited the capital city, Kiev, and when we were there for about 3 days, there was absolutely nothing
Okay.
that happened. And
Wow.
in terms of war.
In terms of the war, there were no sirens, nothing. And we left the very couple of days after we left, there were bombing, and there was the hospital, the children's hospital, which got hit. That happened. So you never know how things are gonna happen or what's gonna happen. However, it's safe. If you look at it, most part of the western part of Ukraine is quite safe to travel and explore as well. I see a lot of foreigners traveling there already. So coming back to the topic of kids and educating them or not to educate them, essentially they pick up what we are doing automatically. How you behave is how they end up mimicking. Monkey see, monkey do. And essentially, we are all monkeys in one way or the other, wearing clothes. That's about it. And we think we are civilized by doing all this. However, if you look at it, it's the same which happens. Yesterday, I was talking to your sister about the chimpanzees, right? Remember, we spoke about it. They still end up going into a war. They gather the whole, all the males end up, gathering together and go for a war against the other chimpanzees in a different part of the forest. If you've observed that.
Have you seen that Netflix documentary?
Which
one?
The one with sound?
No, it's called like Chimp.
The one.
What's it called? Chimp Kingdom or something like that.
Yeah,
It's probably not called that, but you follow a group of chimps, right?
Yeah.
Where you can see their society and their structure, and they kill each other for land and all that.
Yeah, and the hierarchy. That's
crazy.
Pretty much we are doing right
Human
now,
nature.
right? In other words, how much are we far away from, apart from being more creative and innovative to make ourselves grow food, and we are not, we're not going into the forest and foraging for food and stuff, right? So I think it's a great evolution per se. We have evolved greatly, but from a emotional perspective and mind perspective, inclusive perspective, we need to become more human. That's how I feel personally, and I notice myself when my ego acts up, and usually our ego acts up because of insecurity.
Because of what?
Insecurities. Anytime anyone ends up, not agreeing with you, observe where exactly your strong ego of, defending your point comes from. It's usually from our insecurity. Why don't we end up looking at there is a possibility? So I use the maybe word a lot because it's not in my perception. What you experience is what you experience. I cannot perceive it 100% exactly as what you perceive.
Can you give an example of how you would use that? mentality in a situation?
One is awareness. We need to be aware of it. That's why the yoga practice is all about. Yoga practice does not mean on the mat, yoga mat itself. It's being aware of what you're doing all the time as much as possible.
Okay.
For that, meditation is important. And every individual on this planet has taken the first steps of meditation, which is focus and concentration. But the only issue is we are unable to hold on to it.
Yeah.
And there are forces going the other direction, yeah?
Yeah, and there are forces, social media, TikTok, this, that, whatever, gets you distracted.
Yeah.
Oh, if at work you're programmed to be a multitasker, but if you look deep down and to the point, we can never be a multitasking kind of individuals.
The brain doesn't work that way.
Focus on one and then move on to the other one. That's at given point of time, it's only one that you can focus and finish. So
how do we learn to become more present in an ever-distracting society? I guess that's the question we need to ask, right?
Yeah.
Because we need to live with technology and distractions in a good way.
I think the only way that we can be aware of is, one, do not disregard what you have learned so far or what you have been programmed so far. Like I've heard people who have gone away from their the programming which is already done. In other words, like from the religious perspective, people end up assuming that, okay, now I know better, so I don't need the religion. No, on a deeper level, on a deeper subconscious level, it is a program that has already been instilled in you. So go, if it is something that you have done in your childhood, go to the church. It's absolutely fine. It is yoga as well, because you're trying to bring harmony in that sense as well. You're not disregarding something, you're respecting it, going there, doing your thing, and coming out and doing what needs to be done to evolve yourself.
So trying to be aware and conscious about everything that you do.
Absolutely. But it is difficult. The other thing which I know that you both do, which helps in being aware, is the cold baths that you guys take.
Yeah. And what is your take on that?
It's amazing. It does help your all your sensory organs to be like, come in and be aware, and you'll start feeling you're more present.
Yeah, and time goes very slow.
Yeah. And it's like you smoked up or something. Time goes quite slow, and like, why isn't the time going? I'm feeling like the chills are going in and I need to breathe. And you'll start focusing more on the breath and relax yourself.
So you're forced to become present, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the cold water helps. And at the same time, it does help in improving your immune system and your nervous system quite
and relaxing.
Quite a lot.
I think it also helps on those insecurities that you say, because when you get in there, you're exposed. You're completely, you just want to get out. But if you actually get control of your own mind, you can relax in there.
Absolutely.
And you can almost get a psychedelic experience.
Absolutely. What is anxiety and panic attacks? I had panic attacks. I didn't know that I was capable, or I thought I was at a particular level that I wouldn't be experiencing panic attacks.
Yeah.
When the war started there in Ukraine, the sirens were so bloody loud. I was like literally shaking inside. I didn't know. I started experiencing insomnia. And every time, and we packed our bags twice, and we were like, okay, it's enough. But we have everything there at the moment. So we were like, we didn't know what to do. And we just couldn't, we like, okay, let's just wait it out. And then I realized, why am I behaving this way? My emotions were triggered. For no reason, I was snapping at my wife.
Yeah,
I was like, it was just simple things. Like, there was just a cup of water left on the table. I would just snap at it.
Yeah.
I could have picked it up and
put it
away myself, but I would snap at it. And I tried to catch myself. The awareness came, right? And why am I behaving this way? Most of us be in that zone but we don't move on to like why. We don't ask the question why.
Yeah.
Why am I
Okay.
doing this? Why
Yeah.
am I behaving this way? The questions to ourselves, not to others, or not to prove anything to others or ourselves, but to realize or understand better. We barely do that when we are in that mode of egotistical, like
Yeah.
or even in that emotional, why am I crying? Where is it coming from? So I realized that, and I also, since the time I started teaching yoga and practicing yoga, it ended up being so effective for me. I started expressing myself better. And helps when a person around you knows a good amount of psychology, like the conversation that we were having. We ended up talking about how it helps to. Someone needs to break it down for us at times, and it helps.
Clear
Hence
communication.
Hence the social. We are social beings. We like that communication, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I learned, and I started doing my breathing techniques and worked on realizing where is this coming from, and being in the present, not
What was your conclusion?
in the future.
Because it makes sense to me when I'm just hearing it, because I know that feeling, and I think a lot of people know that feeling.
What feeling?
The feeling that the smallest thing is wrong, and
Easy triggers.
And then you say, why didn't you close the fucking door? Or, something stupid, and you could have just closed the door, or you could have just done it. But you only get to that state of mind when you're pressed in some way, when you are being triggered. Is that anxiety?
Yeah, I think we are unable to accept it.
What do you mean?
Like say, for example, we all have our own personalities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some are having the OCD kind of a personality where we like to keep things clean and move it away, or some of us are not. Again, this depends on the programming that we grew up.
But what do you think about that? OCD behavior and these kind of things.
I think it's
Isn't it unnatural?
I don't know if I can call it unnatural, because it's everything that we are experiencing is pretty natural.
Yeah.
It's just that we are not able to evolve from that or learn from it. And since we are unable to learn from it, we fall back again. And that loop is created in the mind.
Okay.
And in yoga, we refer to that. Yoga, I think I mentioned this in our first podcast as well. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. This is the Sanskrit sutra, or the principle, the first one of the principles of the yoga principles. So in that, what that particular phrase means is, yoga is a practice of getting out of your redundant cyclical thought process and being in the present 90% of the time.
Yeah.
So if this needs to be done, and not even getting your emotions trigger your mind, because those thoughts are coming from your, oh, what if he did this, or she did this, or they did that, and I did this, and
like the
blah, blah,
thoughts
blah.
are triggering the emotions.
But also because it's, to me, it's a very, you think you can control things. When you think you can control things and everything has to be a certain way, then you're bound to be disappointed.
Absolutely.
Because you cannot control anything.
Absolutely.
And it's, to me at least, and that's why I also choose to try to not be that way. Of course, you got to be clean in a certain way, and you can't have a mess. That's also bad. But having a routine for too long, I think it's very bad for you, because life is meant for it to be unpredictable, and you have to be able to improvise. The best music is improvisation. Jazz is improvisation. Everything, we need to be able to do that. Right?
But there's also just this thing that it seems like all problems somehow resolve when we just let go. Like for me, when I have an issue or something that I'm worried about, it's only the moment that I let go and say, fuck it, I cannot control it.
Yes.
Just,
exactly.
Fuck that. Eventually it will resolve. But the more I try to dig in, the more I try to contact the people that I have an issue with, the more boundaries there will become.
True. It's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
True.
I want to take a quick break to acknowledge one of our sponsors, Swedish Cold. This thing that I'm sitting in right here is the most amazing spaceship I've ever seen. Swedish Cold doesn't just produce ice baths. They produce the most revolutionary cold exposure experience that's out there. Not only is it stylish, but the running costs are low, the water freezes fast, and the water temperature remains at 0 degrees Celsius all year long. So whether you're a health-conscious individual like me, a gym owner, or you run a facility, then this state-of-the-art ice bath would be a perfect match for you. For me, this is one of my favorite habits. Not only does it boost my testosterone and my dopamine, it also elevates my core temperature, and it helps me manage my stress levels. With Swedish Cold, you're not only investing in a piece of equipment, you're investing in your future. So head over to swedishcold.com and remember to use the code HOLISTIC10 to save 10% off your next ice bath.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's since the letting go has to happen also, that is an awareness that you bring in and you let go. Most of the people would not be able to get to the let go of it at all. And we get attached to the part where, like, why should I let go? Why should I let go? This is more dear to me, because that's, again, letting go is not letting go is also programming.
Yes. And it feels good to let go. You feel like you're being freed, you know?
And the way I explain this is freedom is a paradox. We talk about freedom, but freedom is a paradox. For you to achieve freedom, you need a set of rules and regulations. And only once you achieve that,
what do you mean by
discipline, a discipline. It's like say in yoga, we talk about self-realization, liberation for that matter, right? From a religious perspective also, the liberation and all of that is there. But for that, you need to follow a set of rules. Set of rules for yoga, which we refer to as cleansing the body. To begin with, we start cleansing the body, mind, emotions. A simple thing as the candles that we end up looking and staring at the flame, that improves your concentration, improves your focus. It helps you release a lot of emotions, because you're staring at it without blinking your eyes. It is called as trataka.
What is that?
You don't blink your eyes.
And
you stare at
what are you staring at?
At the candle flame.
Okay.
At the flame itself.
Okay.
For as long as possible. We do that almost about 15 minutes to 30 minutes.
Without blinking?
Without blinking.
15 to
30 minutes.
Wow. I didn't even know that was possible.
In that, it is
They can do crazy stuff.
You can do that. You can do that. Your eye starts tearing up.
Yeah.
Your eye starts burning. Eventually, the burning goes down, and you start tearing up. And the thoughts that you get in that moment are the ones you're releasing as a form. The body releases, right?
So is that about enhancing, I don't know, but focus or something? Because you're focusing on one thing?
It improves your focus. It improves your focus. It improves your concentration. It helps release your emotions, your blocked emotions as well.
Okay.
And a lot of trauma rises up, and you can release a lot of trauma as well. While doing that, your mind that wanders off comes back in, just like the cold shower or the cold ice baths that you guys
that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
That's something you completely focus right there.
Yeah.
And right in that particular moment. Whereas here, in the focus on the candle flame or the fire, you tend to release physically the emotions, like the tears comes out. It could be the tears of joy or pain, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And the thought that comes, you need to pay attention to that. It's a fascinating thing that I experience.
Okay.
It's my experience again.
So how would you go about it? Let's say from step one, you have the candle. You stare at it. Thoughts are popping up all the time. How would you go about that?
So essentially, what we do is it needs to be practiced early in the morning as much as possible. Anywhere between 3 in the morning to 7 in the morning, preferably. Empty stomach. So empty stomach helps you be more aware.
Yeah.
of your body.
Obviously.
Oh yeah.
And of your mind, of your emotions, what's going on, what's not going on. So that empty stomach, just sit there, close the blinds if there's too much of sunlight, have the blinds and close the windows, light the candle, keep it right there. Just sit down for as long as possible. Your body starts hurting because you don't have the habit of sitting down. You can sit on the chair as well and do this. This is one of the reasons, and I've heard this. I mentioned this in back in Ukraine. Told them that you can practice this, and we practiced. Few of us practiced this, but they did not understand initially. And then I ended up connecting it to the church. Why the churches have candles, and then one of the religious person in the practice in our group, she mentioned, no, we do end up practicing. There is a particular practice our priests end up telling that you need to pray, repeat the prayers while focusing on the candle. And there is a part of it in the Orthodox or the Christian approach in Ukraine, at least. Because most of the Ukrainian culture and the Christian culture is has a background of pagan approach, I suppose. That's what I've been told. Although I have worked with Christian priests, and I used to work with them for almost a year or two. And I still go to churches and temples. Wherever you take me, I'll just blend in.
Yeah.
I have no issues with this or that. But end of the day, as a human, what I understand is we are told to do what we need to be doing. So the only question that I ask people is, consider if you were an orphan and I adopted you, or someone else who has a strong religious belief adopted you. Don't you think you will be following that particular religion or this particular religion?
Well, I think most of the people do, but I also think I can only speak for myself.
Yeah.
I grew up with parents that don't believe in anything, and they kept telling me all the time, when you die, there's nothing. It's like, well, they say, we don't know, and there's nothing, and there's nothing in God, and you're not going to get baptized, you're not going to. But ever since I was very small, there was something in me that told me that's not true. There is something. And so I didn't pick up their beliefs.
That's fair, fine.
Yeah.
My understanding is having no belief is also a belief.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, for sure it is.
So that was their belief.
Yeah.
That was the...
But we had that conversation a couple of weeks ago, me and Jacob and someone else, about why some people tend not to fall into this manipulation that 99% people do. You know, like, because me and Jacob have the exact same backgrounds. My family were exactly like his folks. And I also was like, the fuck? You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And also all this COVID shit and media manipulation, I never fall for it, while the rest of my family do. So why are we someone who tends to don't fall in line?
But also on the other note, what we are then being called is, okay, you believe in anything. You guys can say there's an ancient civilization and giant back in the days, and we'll believe it.
No, we're just open.
We're open, and we're open to the likelihood of it instead of just not saying it, because there's so many. Yeah.
The
Again,
word
there
maybe,
it is.
Yeah.
right?
Maybe.
It's the maybe.
It's the maybe. Maybe has a lot of possibilities.
Yes.
A lot of possibilities. So when an individual says that I have had this kind of experience and a spiritual kind of experience or whatever it is, or maybe, because I have certain experiences of mine which
can't be explained.
Can't be explained, or even if I say what I've been through and what I've seen.
Can you share that?
Of course. A simple thing like I mentioned about the possible yoga a community that I'm trying to build back in India, and wherever that I go, I try to build a community and help them involve others and be part of other communities as well. It's not about me building my community. My community is everyone. That's how we need to go about. So that's what I'm trying to build. And I visited that location back in India. It's in the mountains. And I had never visited that place before. And the person who I met, and he wanted to get involved, and he still continues to mention that he'd like to get involved to get the whole thing running. He's offered the land to build a space as well. However, we need to raise the funds for that and then do all of that. I need to build volunteers and team, which I had back in China, but not anymore. So there, when I visited there, I had a weird feeling about the space. And I ended up asking the owners and asked them, like, was there a forest right here? And there was only one tree left there in that whole land. And I touched the tree and I felt there was a lot of, what do you say, anger?
It was lonely, huh?
Anger.
Yeah.
And a lot of negative feelings in some sort. And I don't know why. And I just asked, like, was there a lot of forest here and you guys cut it down to make this as a farming land and whatnot? And they said, yeah, we did. And then I ended up seeing 2 cows away. And I've never lived with a cow, or I never raised a cow. I don't know how it is. I've just seen them because it's India, and we just say, pet them and feed them or whatever. That's about it. The cows belong to the owner of that place. He got the cows back closer to me, and all of a sudden I started having these weird, unusual thoughts. Thoughts in a sense where I ended up feeling what the cow is going through, maybe. I don't know. And I just asked randomly, I just speak my mind out as much as possible. So I just asked the person, like, the cow seems to be born here. I don't know. Was it born here? Seems to be born here. She's saying that she's born here. And it's been like about 8 years now. I never know how to check the age of a cow just by looking at it. And then I ended up asking, she's asking about her mother, what happened. And then, like, how do you know that? Like, just about a year ago or something, the mother was much more older. So we had to send her to a care facility. We have, back in India, we have facilities to take care of for the cows and animals. Anyone who's dying, we have a facility to take care of them. It's all an NGO that runs, different NGOs that runs that. So they mentioned that it's done, it's been sent there. And then I just felt that, and I just passed on the message in a way, and I just received a weird feeling, sense of gratitude and the sense of thankfulness, like, oh, thanks for passing this communication or whatever. I never knew that.
I believe that.
So why are some people more in touch with that capability like you? Because I believe that we all have it. I
We
believe
all
that
have
it's
it.
innate to
Yes.
us.
Yes.
So why are some more clear-minded, or what to say, like you are and like we are to a certain degree? That's the question.
Why? I don't know, to be honest.
Don't you think it's about... We talked earlier about parasites, and you gave me this tea and all that stuff. Don't you think it's a detoxification process also?
Yes.
Both mentally but also physically?
Yes. Yes. Agreed. Part of it is that for us to get up to our full potential, or be up to that full potential of ours, we need to cleanse the body, cleanse the mind, cleanse ourselves in different ways, because we abuse ourselves in any possible way that is possible.
And why?
That's the nature. We are born out of pain. We end up being sulking more and being more in pain than finding a way out and then letting go. And
because we're used to it from the very first second we're born.
Yeah. We're born out of pain. We are born out of pain. Our moms end up experiencing pain. We experience pain, but we are not aware of it because we are squeezing ourselves out of the birth canal.
And then we
And
fry.
the body takes
I remember you told me that the
quite
last
a bit
day,
of
Wow.
quite a bit of beating that the body goes
So
through as
trauma
well.
And
from
then the
day
first
one.
addiction we have is the mother's milk. That's the only thing that can calm us down.
Not
and every
today.
time we cry, that's what we get.
Mother's smell, milk, and her being around, her voice.
Yeah.
These three are our first addictions as well. That's the comfort zone for us.
Wow.
That's our comfort zone.
Yes.
That's why if you noticed, recently I also ended up seeing the same thing. When a child has has kind of a withdrawal kind of a symptoms, like when they cannot be with themselves, be by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Usually they end up giving the mums old clothes to hold on to it, and they end up sleeping. The monkeys end up doing the same as well, as when they are in a rehab, or you end up finding a orphan monkey or something. We end up using the mother's rub the mother's fur on the cloth or a teddy bear or something like that, and give it to the baby monkey. They hold on to it and they can smell it and they can feel it.
Yeah.
That's something that's
So we are traumatized from the day we're born.
Pain, addiction.
Basically, yeah.
So we kind of makes ourselves docile with the addictions that we have, so that we can get out of those pain patterns in our brain.
Absolutely.
And that is why also that staring into a candle, sitting in an uncomfortable position,
For a
doing
long
an
time.
ice bath, and withstanding that pain is going to make you better at fighting addiction.
Getting
Could it
out
be
of your
that simple?
comfort zone, getting out of your comfort zone helps you evolve.
Okay.
Think about it.
And yeah, back to the detoxification, because I don't think we ended on that. Are there anything we can do practically to detoxify ourselves?
Fasting is the best.
Yeah. So what kind? We have done some water only fasts a lot of times. Yeah.
So it depends on individual. Every individual is different. Every individual, from an Ayurvedic perspective, when you look at each individual, you'll be able to understand their thought process is different from the way the body behaves. At times, there are people who are back in Ukraine. I end up helping people. I do give massages. So I have a client of mine who ends up going on a water fast for 21 days. And in 21 days, she's very active person, but she is still on a heavier side.
Mm-hmm.
And 21 days of water fast, the most that she could lose weight is only about 5 kilos or something.
Yeah.
Not more.
Yeah.
And she's a very active person. She never stays quiet. She's always working. She's not lazy.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
And she practices yoga. That's the body constitution. From the Ayurvedic perspective, we refer to that as kapha. And when there is the body type is kapha. So each individual body type affects the mind as well. The food that you eat affects the mind as well. So the detoxification that we need to do is fasting. To start with, it's better to start with intermittent fasting.
Yeah. I do that every day.
Same here.
Yeah.
So
Here as well.
essentially, that's the best that we can start off. At least a lot of people think that breakfast is like early in the morning. Not necessary. It's breaking the fast.
Yeah. That's just the first meal, right?
Right? That's the first meal. You break the fast. And the longer you have the fasting, anywhere about 8 hours is great, because your body goes through it.
Yeah.
The process of detoxification, and the body always throws out what it does not belong. What it does not belong, if it is holding back, that's what exactly becomes a tumor of some sort.
Oh, wow.
A tumor of some sort, or an ailment of some sort. Even thoughts and emotions, if you're not letting out, that turns
becomes
into
illness.
I want to take a quick break to acknowledge one of our sponsors, Barhale. As you know, I'm a major advocate of the benefits that nature brings us, and I ground myself daily to decrease inflammation and maximize my longevity. I ground myself daily by being barefoot on the grass. but being barefoot isn't always possible. So instead of using synthetically soled shoes that block our connection with earth, I use these. I have created the world's first running shoe that allows you to be grounded when going barefoot isn't practical. This means that the shoe has been designed with a sole that allows you to absorb all the negative ions from earth, just as if you were barefoot. And the bonus, its base is wide so it can fit all your toes without compressing them. Bahe offer a range of both barefoot style shoes and cushioned shoes. So head over to bahe.co and check out their full range. And remember to use the code HOLISTIC10 to save 10% off your next order.
Yeah, because again, what
into
your whole in the what is it called? Endocrinology.
Endocrinology.
System.
Endocrine
system.
Yeah.
Is basically controlled by the nervous system, which is controlled by your brain, right?
Yeah.
So it makes
and
sense.
Your brain
that
is controlled by the thoughts that you're going through, and your thoughts are indirectly controlling your emotions, and your emotions are indirectly again going back and controlling your thoughts. So you go in that loop.
Yeah.
It's all about the thoughts.
It's about the thoughts. It's also about how you can change your thoughts, how you can working on letting go of what you have
and not
thoughts
paying
right
attention
now,
to
and
the
then
thoughts.
change. Okay, that's why the whole concept of the religious concept of expressing gratitude, count your blessings. That plays a major role. That's why it works. That works too. This works too.
The maybe.
Bring the harmony. What works at that way? Try it out. See. Try it out for a month or two.
It reminds me
It'll
of that Taoist story. The guy with the farm. Do you know that one?
Oh yeah, the guy.
Don't think so.
The horse, right?
Yes. Yeah. So there's a guy. This is a Taoist way of living. They all in China they describe it all through idioms, and this idiom is a story from a Taoist. Whatever. There's a man. He has a farm, and he has a horse in that farm. The horse runs away. All the neighbors come running in, and they say, "Oh, we're so sorry for you. Now you're poor. You have nothing left." And he says, "Maybe." The next day, the horse comes back with another horse. All the neighbors come back in and they say, "Oh, you're so lucky. Now you're rich." And he says, "Maybe." The next day, his son takes the new horse out to ride, falls off and breaks his arm. All the neighbors come running in. "So sad for you. Your son broke his arm." He says, "Maybe." The next day, the military general comes and takes all the boys in the village except his son to go to war. And all of them die. But the whole moral of the story is you don't know what's good.
Yeah.
You have no idea if a car crash could be something that saves you, or if your flight being delayed is the reason that you're not crashing. You know what I mean? So bringing those thoughts and emotions into situations is not going to do any benefit to you because you have no idea
True.
what the design is.
Exactly.
True.
Exactly.
True.
And I actually feel that a lot when I think, why the fuck am I so fucking unlucky now?
Yeah.
What is the purpose of this? What did I do to make you a mad god or whatever is in charge? And then like a few weeks or a few months or a few years later, I'm like, okay, that was the reason.
Yeah.
It all ended happily.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the moral of your story.
Trust the process.
And move above the here and now, or be patient to wait and see what's coming, right?
Yeah. Patience is very difficult to achieve, right? A lot of people, I was a very angry child. I didn't know how to be patient. And I learned by myself how to work on my own patience. I ended up finding ropes sitting at home. And the only way that I could vent out was psychedelic trance music.
Wow.
That was my way out. I would just listen to it loudly and then got into rock music, listen to that as well, hip hop, everything. But then I learned how to be more patient with myself by using ropes, tiny ropes, tie as many knots as possible and undo them all.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tie them all, like as many knots as possible, as tightly as possible, and then undo them all.
But that's an
slowly.
interesting technique too.
Wow. Yeah.
Keeping your
awareness right there,
Yes.
and you're
Yeah.
and untie them all. That's something which I used to do.
Very good. Very interesting. But that's also,
It's a simple.
that's the same as remote viewing. That's also the whole technique of remote viewing, which is also perceiving things
Mhm.
that is not local to you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
something that's what the CIA did with the LSD things and everything.
Yeah.
The whole technique is to keep your conscious mind busy so that you take in the inputs that is coming, that is flowing from a source that we have no idea what the fuck is. Right? And they
True.
are 90% accurate on their shit.
Absolutely. I had one of that kind of experience back in China.
Let's hear it.
Back in 2017, I learned a lot from my dog, my pet. How to love myself is what she taught me. If not for her, I wouldn't be able to love myself as deeply as I love myself now. And I learned that I had a deep connection with her. And back in 2017, she was about 15 years old. She had some health issues a long time back, and she went through all the operations and all that. And the next few years, she's been like great. At the age of 15, I'm just in our Shenzhen apartment. I'm waiting for Helen to come back from work, and I'm washing the dishes. All of a sudden, usually washing dishes is also meditative. If you have
it
a
is.
practice of it.
Yes.
If you can
Cooking
stay
is
present.
meditative as well.
Yeah.
Cooking is meditative. I finished cooking and I started to wash the dishes, and I have this thought out of nowhere, and it just comes in as though it's just flowing, and I just pick up. Usually, I always act on the thoughts that I end up having. If I remember someone, I just pick up the phone and drop a line saying,
Yes.
not expecting anything in return. Just dropping, saying, "Hey, I remembered you. How are you? How's everything going?" And that's about it. I just say hi, hello.
Yeah.
As is, I just send it out.
Mm-hmm.
If they respond, they respond. If they don't respond, it's absolutely fine. I'm
Yeah.
not sitting there and waiting for them to respond there.
No.
either.
Letting go
So
again.
it's just genuinely, I felt it. This means I need to say hello to them. That's all I think. I don't have any sort of other obligations to it, or what they think, what they don't think. Absolutely not. This is what I did during that time. I had this feeling that she's gonna die soon, and she's just has about 10 days left, or 7 days or 10 days left.
Wow.
And I messaged my folks back in India that my dog's name is Heidi. So I messaged them saying that Heidi is gonna die soon. So
And it was in India.
she was in India. Yeah, it was the dog, and my family is back in India. I messaged them, and I like, no, for the last 2 years, there's been absolutely no health issues at all. She's been doing great. Her food is good. Her, what do you say? Her daily rituals are good. Everything is fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong at all. 10 days later, I get a message saying that she passed away. And she just walked, my mom walked back in home in the morning after finishing her, some errands that she had to run. And she came back home, and out of nowhere, Heidi just walked up and barked at them, my parents. And then my parents were like, do you need, it's not your lunchtime yet or dinner time yet. So chill, relax, it's all right.
Yeah.
Go and sleep a little more if you want to. You're old already.
Yeah.
And then she just walked out and collapsed.
When did
So
when did these experiences start from you?
For me,
Yeah.
a really long time back.
Was there did you make any changes in your life at that point? Did you become more awake or more aware or more in tune, or how to say?
Um,
Or were you just born like that?
I was struggling to actually fit into the society. I fought with myself. I went through a lot of depression back in my childhood, and being suicidal as well.
I remember you said that.
I was there as well. And eventually, the turning point for me was when I started asking questions to myself, like, why am I thinking this way? Whose are these thoughts? Should I be this way or that way? What people are telling me, or what am I to do? how do I discover myself is my question. Why am I not able to be like others? Be more productive, maybe be more efficient in terms of making money, or
Yes, the
getting the
classical.
kind of job,
Yeah.
maybe getting the kind of scores
Fit in.
Yeah.
fit in. Why
Big
am I not
measuring.
able to? Why
Yeah.
am I not? If I'm good at sport, the only sport that I'm good at is sprinting, but not a marathon. So why am I good at that? What is my These are the questions that led me to a point where I like, okay, and then meditation at the age of 16. Someone introduced me to meditation. From there, I went on to practicing more of meditation and different types of yoga practices that I practiced, and that's how I started feeling things out of nowhere. It didn't make sense to me, and then I realized that I should rather not think about what others think. I should just act on it and make a conscious effort to put myself out there. It works out, it works out. If people perceive it, they perceive it. But it's my experience, right?
For sure.
I can't share it with anyone else. Even if I do, I've had experiences, paranormal experiences, but it's my experience. I can just say it as a story. But
Which is what life is.
It's but then it's my perception. I can't prove it to anyone, right? The same thing goes with the chakras as well.
Yeah.
Unless you experience individually different dimensions which people talk about from a spiritual perspective, need to it is quite even for that matter, the aliens alien sighting or whatever said and done, it's their individual experience. Accept it, it's okay. Hopefully they're not drugged. Half the time I get so high without even smoking up by meditation that your body releases that much of
It's interesting. I had a similar experience when I started doing this too. I was kind of depressed too at one point. I was lonely because I went to Shenzhen to study Chinese and didn't know anyone there. So I also picked up meditation. And I remember there was a few times, but there was one time in particular where all of a sudden while I was meditating in a park, I just got this overwhelming feeling of everything is good. Everything that you think is important. Your health, your parents, your money, your apartment, if you learn Chinese, if you get all these things, they are almost comically not important. So I just started laughing. I just started laughing because it's like you make up all of these stories in your head, like things are important, these things have to be done. If you die right now, it's fine.
Yeah.
And once you've had a few of those experiences, I feel like you start making decisions differently. You don't make decisions based on what you think you should or someone else tell you should. You only make those decisions that you really want to, that's important to you, that you enjoy doing. And I think that's why meditations is important too.
Yeah. And
True.
I think everyone can get those when they meditate correctly.
They can.
Because I can resonate with that. I haven't had too many experiences, but when I go really deep, that's nothing but pure positivity.
Yeah.
Really. It's just like everything else doesn't matter.
It's even like...
I bet for you, your meditation is when you take the ice bath, you start doing the breathing and you get deep into yourself. That's when your meditation is.
Yeah,
possibly.
Kind of, but I don't think it's long enough to hit the deep stage. I can see what you mean about an ice bath, but after all, it's just a few minutes. So you get somehow deep, but not deep enough. For me, it's like
more like a workout.
Yeah.
To me also,
yeah.
It's more like a tough workout. Meditation to me, it's also a workout.
Meditation
but it's a workout for your
longer,
mind. To me.
A breathing session or just a still meditation, something like that. But for me, you need at least, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes to get into that state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need time.
Yeah. If you have 30 minutes, we can meditate,
and
then we can start the podcast session, again. If you guys,
but I need to pee also.
We can take a little break. Okay, we're back. Jacob has to take a poo.
Yeah,
like Varoon on the last podcast.
No, but yes.
Can you hand me one of those edibles? Okay, Varoon. What is this?
Edibles?
Yeah, like the gummies. Yeah.
You can make magic out of it.
Okay. One more?
No,
Have one more.
I already had two.
I'm driving.
Yeah, fuck it, I'm off today.
Okay. Tell us what is
We'll
this?
talk about this a little later.
A little later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
So let's stay in the same lane.
Mhm.
No, I want your take on diets. All right?
Uh-huh.
So we talked a lot about the detoxification, all that stuff. I guess diet is a big part of it. What is your take on diet? Is there a certain way that we should eat, or does it depend on something?
It's individualistic.
Mm-hmm.
First thing. Every individual cannot follow one particular diet. It's based on from the Ayurvedic perspective, as I keep having these yoga sessions. The way I teach yoga is to understand an individual's body, mind, emotions, and then I start the yoga classes. So I do the pulse diagnosis. I take the pulse and I understand your body. I understand your routine, what you do, how you do, what your whole life has been so far, and what is the aim of you taking up yoga and or working or practicing with me. So that helps in fine-tuning your body according to what you desire and what your body is capable of.
Okay.
So not someone who's, like I mentioned, someone who's on a 21-day water diet and still maintains the same weight, unable to lose weight, shows that there is something else that is
There's some
going on
underlying issues.
right?
Yeah.
For sure.
So that needs to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
If I just ask them to like eat only this, it ain't gonna work. So
That's
the
also
diet,
sound insane that you only lose 5 kilos
Yeah, on
on
21.
20. When I do it for 1 week,
Yeah, that's like 5 kilos.
that's 5 kilos for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not big.
Yeah.
What do you think? What was the reason for that?
it's the body constitution.
Okay. The bones and stuff.
So there, one is the genetics
Yeah.
helps to an extent for the body type that they have. The parents who would be having that kind of genetics maybe would passing it on. However, the habits since the childhood, the eating habits for that matter, whether it is excess of sugar or lack of sugar also, it needs to be balanced. My perception about diet has to be balanced. I'm not talking about even if it's detoxification, it needs to be balanced. Not to get so detoxed that your body ends up deteriorating on the other side when it falls on the other
So
side.
it can
meaning
become too detoxed, you say?
yeah.
cannot. It can,
Deprived.
but you should not.
Yeah, okay.
So you need certain amount of. It's like COVID vaccines, right?
Mm.
So if you keep jabbing yourself, or when we talk about these people who end up taking testosterone,
Yeah.
the body stops functioning, and then once you stop it, and it's not available,
It
what does the
stops
body?
its own function, right? Yeah.
Right. So that's basically a balance.
Mhm.
Since we are physically manifested, we as humans and everything around us has been physically manifested by our parents. They manifested us by having sex. They manifested that we materialized and we came out as babies. So the game of this manifestation is always has to correlate with the duality. There has to be yin yang,
What do you mean by that?
meaning with the detox part of it, you need to have certain amount of
Yeah, so balance.
You need to
need to
build up
have a
some sort of
balance.
nutrition and
Yeah. And
But-
the
yeah.
cheat days in gymming usually have
Yeah,
this
yeah.
cheat days. Cheat days are important.
Mm.
Cheat days does not mean that you end up abusing yourself, but there is
Nah.
something that you end up
Balancing the system
balancing
out.
the system out that, hey,
Yeah.
you're still working and we need to work on that. But
Yeah.
the problem is, again, we don't have that much of a discipline to control that. When we end up getting drunk, we get drunk, where we
I
start.
don't. I
We,
mean,
when
What?
where
I was just
Or
like,
stone.
serious? I'm kidding.
and we end up singing
Yeah.
karaoke
yeah.
in someone's wedding.
Some people do.
So, okay, so what is your diet? What are your principles?
So my diet is listen to my body first, understand my body first, what my body requires. There are times in the whole year my body asks for some meat, and I end up eating meat. Not eating where I'm gonna be like stuffing myself with it. I just have it like for a meal or two and then finish it. And my body goes into action, into manifesting. And then there are times of the year that my body asks for only a vegan diet or a vegetarian diet. And then the fasting, excess of fasting as well, it asks for me. And I tend to do that.
Yeah.
And I'll go to a complete, simple food of just sometimes one meal a day.
Yeah.
For my, I think 2 years ago, for one of my birthdays, I walked 40 kilometers to celebrate my birthday. With
Because you were 40 years?
No, I was not 40.
He's 30.
How old are you?
I'm just shitting you. I don't know.
How old are you, Varoon?
I'm 43 now.
You don't look 43.
No.
I'm 43 now. If I shave this,
You think you're 18.
Yeah, because I remember last
The last
time you didn't have any facial hair or anything.
I
I
was
thought
40.
you were 16 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Basically.
I tend to grow my beard and be a little,
Yeah.
gray, leave a little bit of gray so that people can perceive that
Yeah,
I'm
you
a
don't
little
look
older.
43 at all.
Yeah, no, clear.
Yeah. So, I ended up walking for 40 kilometers through the jungle in Ukraine,
Wow.
through the forest without GPS. I managed to find my way to a resort where a friend of mine owns a space in the resort. So that was my
Goal.
gift for myself to walk and see after 42. That was probably when I was 42 or 41. I ended up do I have that endurance to deal with it? Do I have still, I'm going to be present without having too much of food around me?
Yeah.
And so did a 15 days of detox, of silence, and not talking to anyone, isolated by
What was
myself.
That sounds scary.
Helen and I did that after our wedding back in India. It was a 10-day isolated meditation. She's by herself in a different part of the place. It's a Buddhist way of meditation as well, Vipassana meditation. 10 days of meditation without speaking to anyone or looking at anyone or not having any possible communication with even a plant or an animal.
Nothing. Just
Nothing.
your own thoughts.
Just meditation from morning 4 o'clock up until night 9 o'clock. You get breaks.
Yikes. That sounds difficult.
Yeah. 10 days of it.
Torture.
Yeah.
The
It
third
really does.
day was the most torturous.
Which one?
The third day.
The third
Interesting.
day,
was the
Same
most
with fasting, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And your body will start fighting in any way possible. Like, give me something. Your mind, especially,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't let you rest.
So what is
So-
the craving? Like fasting, it's eating, right? So
Yeah.
what is the craving here? Is it speaking or
It's TikTok.
Getting out of
just stimuli?
Yeah, it's getting out of this redundant talking. The mind keeps yapping away, and eventually you tend to get to that point where you want to break free, and then enough. I'm
Yeah.
done with it. Let me go out. I would like to abuse myself with
And then you have 7 more
unnecessary
days.
conversations,
Yeah.
or just go eat a lot or drink a lot, because that was also one of the we had only 2 meals a day there in that particular meditation retreat. So we had a great time. A lot of crying happened, a lot of venting out, and also once the whole session or the whole retreat ended, I could catch my own bloody ego talking about how it feeds you, right?
Yeah,
you achieved it. You finished 10 days of silence, and you end up looking at every other person as like, oh, they are nothing. Your mind starts talking like that. I'm like, where are you coming from?
Nice.
It's very important to catch
Wow.
ourselves when that happens. When you do fasting and you achieve something, the pride gets into you, right? And when you end up taking the cold baths or the ice baths, if
it becomes a competition.
It becomes a competition, and you end up looking at others like, oh, you don't know much type. That's ego talking. How you end up feeding that awareness needs to be there.
Yeah.
This is something which I did even back in the days when I was a teenager. And in my 20s, I volunteered with a lot of NGOs and with a lot of animal shelters. I worked for a lot of animal shelters as well. I was also part as a volunteer for the city that I come from. Volunteer for the city's wildlife rescue. Animals come into the city in some way. Where we used to rescue like snakes or something like that. Technically, we as humans refer to that. Animals come into the city, but we are the ones who occupy the nature, right? And build the city around
exactly.
it. So, we had to get a hold of the snakes and animals and whatever that flies by. Anything that there's a golf course in our right in the center of the city, and most of the birds end up getting stuck into the net or the really long nets that they have. So we had to coordinate with fire department and help them understand how to rescue the birds and then send it to the bird rehab centers and all that. So essentially, all of this would give me that ego feeling.
Yeah,
like
I'm better than
I'm
other
better than someone else.
Yeah.
So I caught myself, and I'm like, there was a time where I used to help a lot of people with as much as money that I could have or food or whatever said and done. I started feeling great about myself. And that greatness turned into more from an egoistic greatness. And I caught myself, why the hell am I feeling this way? When I do that, I look around and I used to feel like, look, you guys need to do this type. Trying to have that from an ego perspective. I ended up talking to myself and others, and I realized that's not right.
Nope.
So I need to work on that, and I had to step back. When I started rescuing animals and working with animal shelters, I caught myself being a hypocrite. I talk about so much of animal rights, but then I started eating meat at the same time. So I had to turn myself into vegan.
Yeah.
So that, okay, when I'm doing this, that's the work that I'm doing. I'll make sure I'm vegan at that time.
Okay.
Once I'm
Otherwise,
off
you don't
and I
resonate fully with it.
Yeah. So once that is done, I feel like, okay, this is where I can limit everyone has our own limitations. Accept it. And enjoy that limitation as well. Yes, we need to push our boundaries nonetheless, but not to a point of breaking.
Yeah.
Know what is your breaking point and know what is your limitation and keep playing with it. And work on it. That's
in a
basically
world where everything is based on competition, the job you get, school, hobbies, social media, everything is about, I'm better than you, I'm better, I do this, you do that. How, is there any form of, I guess, healthy competition? Is there any form of still being a part of society and doing things, but not being egocentric?
Humility. Practice humility. We need to practice humility. When we make a lot of money, we need to also make a lot of develop a lot of humility. Because we are making money, that means I have the ability to help others as well who do not have. Charity does not mean that you need to give money and finish. That's another thing which I realized. When I used to have money, I used to help people with money. But I realized I'm doing it wrong. I ended up keeping the money with me. I spend more time with them. That is more of a charity. Giving my time there is more of a charity. I spend more time with the individual who needs and then take myself out, and do you still need some money or whatever it is? Okay, there you go. Rather than just giving it and then moving on. No, that's
nothing. Yeah.
That's nothing. That's
Yeah.
not. You'd rather spend your time rather than spending your money. Spend your
Yeah.
time.
Do you
So
mind
that's something which I try to educate myself and others also.
Makes sense. Do you mind taking us through a meditation that you find relevant not only to us, but to the listeners as well?
Absolutely. Again, I try not to do too much of. I do not promote guided meditation too much.
Okay.
The reason behind that is when I'm guiding through the meditation, initially it is great, but people tend to get hooked onto a guided meditation, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, you tend to end up using the
Yeah.
voice, and you need that voice for you to be in a meditative state.
Yeah.
Or I
Yeah.
need silence to be in meditation.
Yeah.
I can't meditate. This is not silence enough. I can't meditate.
Yeah.
So in a cozy, good place, everyone can meditate.
Yeah.
But I think it's important for the listeners to have some cues, kind of guidelines
Yes,
what to do with your body, what to place your focus, like
absolutely.
keep them on the right track and let them know how to reach the desired state.
Absolutely.
And also, what is the desired state?
Desired state is being present.
Here and now.
Here and now. Here and now. To the best of your abilities. It's quite challenging, but here and now is the desired state that I would suggest. Again, it's my perception.
Of course.
Again, eventually, once you're here and now, a lot of things starts happening. That's possibly what happened in that place with the cows, which I mentioned, and probably what happened when I was doing my dishes and ended up, having this intuitive. I was just here and now.
Okay.
Here and now, and
And
I just observe.
What to do with the thoughts that come up?
Let it be. Let it go.
So don't dwell
add
at
on to
them.
it.
No, just
Don't add on to the thoughts. If you understand the thoughts itself, there is one. If you can think about a particular thing, 10 thoughts down the lane, it is going to be related to the first thought that you had. So you are building the thoughts. Eventually, it's a link. The train of thoughts. That's what we refer to, right? The train of thoughts. So essentially, try not to build the train of thoughts, or try not to run behind the thoughts and like, oh, what this happens, and then this happens, and this happens, and that happens. So it naturally, unknowingly, your subconscious mind goes on to that way of doing. Do not do that. If you do that, it's absolutely fine. So constantly, during our meditation sessions back in Shenzhen, I constantly mention that all that you do is, when you end up catching yourself that you're running behind a thought, or you get distracted by something in your mind, or the sounds for that matter, express kindness to yourself. Treat yourself just like you found a lost child on the street. You ain't gonna be yelling at it, screaming at it, or like, what are you doing outside? Nothing. No, nothing of that sort. All that you're gonna do is just hold on. Oh, where's your mama? Okay, come. Let me lead you back home. You lead yourself back to one particular focus. Either it could be the breath, either it could be between your eyebrow center, or it could be any particular vision that you might think of, or imaginary or visualization that you can think of. Hold it for as long as possible. That's the most that you can go about doing, because focus is the primary step and the biggest step that you can have during meditation, and that helps a lot.
And now the sun comes for the first time since we started the podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe
absolutely.
that's a sign.
Maybe.
Okay.
All right.
We have a little tight schedule, so I will set the timer for 40 minutes. No, sorry, 20 minutes.
Absolutely.
Would that be okay?
Absolutely fine. Up to you.
20-minute meditation sounds good.
Yeah. Stretch your legs whenever you need to.
Would it be a good idea to take a piss so you're not distracted by the sensation of a filled bladder?
Better.
Yeah,
better.
that's a good idea. Okay.
Right.
Let's try. Seated position?
Yeah, whatever the position that you can. Preferably place your left heel inside and the right outside. Yoga is science
circuits.
and it's scientific, based on your nervous system. So usually when you end up seeing all these mudras, you end up seeing these mudras or gestures
So sorry, the
left inside.
left heel inside
Yeah.
here.
And
Essentially, what we do is
I
we
can't
end
do
up pressing the heel to your perineum.
that. Yes.
Perineum is where your between your
root
groin
chakra.
and your groin and your anal
Okay.
exit. That's where you end up pressing it just there gently. That triggers your basically it's an on and off system for your animal instinct. So it ends up turning off your hunger, reduces your hunger and desire to eat and or all that, and focuses more on that.
Interesting.
So it's all stimulant. That's where meridian system, and we do these gestures are also in India we call this as marma techniques. If you've seen people, these martial artists, they talk about how you can press a point and make a person unconscious, or those are very much there. And from Chinese perspective, tapping,
You're tapping everywhere. Yeah.
that increases the blood flow. It helps you with the lymph nodes, release all the toxins out of your body as well. So that's something which is very important and doable. And the technique of yoga that I teach helps brings detox and harmonizes your hormonal system. And I didn't know that, by the way. When I started teaching it, I got these techniques during meditation as an idea, you might call it as, or it might be a divine intervention. I don't know about it. I just had these thoughts and like, oh, this is how it needs to be. This is how it needs to be. These are the breathing techniques that goes into this particular thing. And then eventually, only once I started teaching people, they started talking about their hormonal system coming back into balance after decades of hormonal balance pills. Doctors were surprised, like, what are you doing different? They did practice yoga before. However, they ended up having that effect after they practiced.
And this method was given to you in meditation.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Okay.
So it's quite
interesting,
quite surprising. I thought it is just one time thing, but it happened here in Ukraine and there in Ukraine as well. And a lady ended up experiencing the same. And there's a 70-year-old lady who comes for my massage sessions. She was surprised. She's traveled. She's a doctor herself, and she's traveled quite a bit. And she was surprised that I've never had this kind of massage ever before. And she was able to. She literally was like in teary eyed, and she's like, "You're God given." I'm like, "Oh, thank you very much. I'm just a simple guy." But it's a gift. Every individual we meet is a gift, whether it's for the good or the bad.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. Right. So let's begin. All right. Just simply turn your hands up, connect your index finger and thumb at the tip. Right. Close your eyes. I'll just guide you through a bit. Pay attention to the breathing. Observe the sensations of the breath at the tip of your nose. Do a relaxed breathing, no stress at all. Normal relaxed breathing. Observe the sensations of the breath on the walls of your nose as the air goes in and as the air goes out. Observe the temperature of the air as it goes in, as it goes out. Gently observe the sounds and voices around you. No judgment, no comments, just observe. Observe the sensation on your skin. Observe your spine, upright but yet relaxed. Observe the weight of your body falling on your sitting bones or your buttocks. Observe the sensation of the clothing that you're wearing on your skin. Slowly move your awareness to the tip of your toes. Visualize the tip of your toes, the bones, the tissues, skin, your toenails, and slowly visualize yourself splitting your awareness into two. Visualize that you're moving through your feet on both the legs, moving towards your ankle. Visualize your ankle. Just acknowledge as it is. Moving through your shin bones, your calf muscles, to your knees. Stay at your knees. Realize the support that you have in your life, emotionally, physically, materialistically, and gently from your knees, move through your femur bones, your thighs, to your hips. Visualize any pain or trauma that you may have experienced since your childhood. Visualize you release that as you relax your hips, but keeping the spine upright. Gently move to the tip of your spine and slowly visualize as though you're in a glass elevator or a lift, and you're taking the slow elevator up. Visualize the organs, your reproductive system, your detox system. Slowly acknowledge their contribution to keeping good health. Move up slowly, observe your large intestine, your small intestines, your appendix, if you have or haven't removed yet. Observe your spleen, pancreas, liver, gallbladder within the liver, And gently move towards your stomach. Observe the diaphragm. Observe your breath. Observe the expansion and collapsing of your diaphragm. And slowly move up to the rib cage. Observe your lungs, your heart. Gently moving through your scrotum, up through the throat. Visualize your voice box and gently at the base of your neck, split your awareness into two and move your awareness to the tip of your tip of your fingers. At the tip of your fingers, observe the sensation of the index finger and thumb touching each other. Observe the sensation of the temperature and the air. Slowly move your awareness inside your palms towards your wrist, through your forearms, to your elbows, through your biceps and triceps and your arms, through your shoulders, back to the base of the neck. Observe the base of your neck and slowly move up the neck, through the throat. Visualize your tongue, your mouth from the inside. Slowly visualize your cheeks and your nose entrance from the inside. Visualize yourself turning around and you end up observing your brain and your eyes right above you. Gently walk up and visualize your eyes from within. You gently turn on either sides and you end up observing your ears and the sounds that it ends up picking up. Gently visualize yourself at the center of your brain. You take a deep inhale, slow exhale, and visualize your whole nervous system, your endocrine system, come in harmony with your physical body, from bones, muscles, texture of your skin, your tissues. Observe everything and bring everything in harmony. From the ligaments to the fluids in your body. All the bacteria that help keep the body intact, your digestive system intact. Gently visualize and move towards your eyebrow center and observe the sensation of your eyes moving towards the eyebrow center. Gently observe between your eyebrow center. As little or no thoughts as possible.
Time.
All right. Gently bring your hands together so you can harmonize your left and right side of your brain and your nervous system. Letting the body know that you're getting out of the meditation. And gently, keeping your eyes closed, start rubbing your hands, creating friction between your palms. This helps you activate your nervous system and create heat between your palms. And use these palms and the heat that you generate, the energy that you create, place it over your eyes so the heat ends up helping increase the blood circulation in your eyes. This helps in increasing the eye, life of the eye, and optical nerve helps get better. Gently move your hands away. Slowly open your eyes. Take a look at your palms. Once you get clear vision, move your hands away. Right. So, how was it?
It was good. It's difficult to remain in focus, but that's the same thing when you don't do it daily, I guess.
And did you feel too much pain in your body?
No, just the back, right?
Just the back?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, the back. But also, yeah, I did that. But I mean, that's a part of it, right? You try to resist this for as long as you can and try to focus on the breath and get back and ignore it.
I always try to get back and back and back to the focus.
But I had to stretch my leg a couple times.
Yeah. Hence the postures, right? In yoga, we refer to the cleansing first. We call that as the cleansing of the body, cleansing of the mind. And then we move on to practicing the postures. Once the practicing of the postures is done, we get into the breathing techniques. And the breathing technique is done is when we get into the practice of meditation. 95% of the practice of meditation, yoga is in breathing techniques and meditation. Only 5% or less than 5% is what in the physical aspect of it.
Yeah.
And that's a misconception that if you're able to do a headstand, you're an advanced yoga practitioner. No,
Yeah, has nothing to do.
that has nothing to do with. If you're able to keep your calm in the most chaotic state all around you, that's one of the advanced levels of yoga, in other words. So eventually things happen as well. And we are constantly gonna get programmed in one way or the other by the environment or people.
Yeah.
Be aware of it. If you get programmed, it's absolutely fine. Just realize that you've been programmed. It's absolutely fine. And move on to what suits you, not according to what others want you to be. So, but express yourself in kindness and compassion as much as possible. Only when there is no choice, use your fist.
Yeah.
That's what I would suggest.
Thank you, Varoon.
And how did you feel about the gummies?
Very
mild.
I feel them. Maybe I'm just tired.
I did. I felt more calm.
I did in the beginning.
More
felt
focused.
it a little bit.
Yeah, more focused and more calm, I guess.
Actually, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
So there's another simple example of how easy it is to program us. Those were just gummies. Nothing in them.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, really?
I love it.
Yeah. That's why I didn't feel
I
anything.
love it.
But yes.
That's why I started with that.
It's funny.
Take a couple.
I love it. It's funny because in the beginning it was very severe and I was like, whoa, is this my brain messing with me, or is this really because you said it was cannabis gummies?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do have them nonetheless. If you guys want it, I do have the ones with the real ones, and I have the other ones as well. And I'm like, okay, let me just show the placebo effect of it.
I was like, after I
Let's
took
see.
2, I was like, yeah, okay, I can definitely don't have a problem with this.
See?
One more.
This is part of epigenetics as well.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I
You
did
can
think
program.
I was feeling it.
Wow. Yeah.
So you tricked them. How much you were feeling at one point, you were like, I'm not getting another one.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
In the break,
You're good.
in the break, I was like, I'm not taking one more.
Yeah.
That's
But
funny
it's
as
insane.
shit.
But I love it. I also talk about placebo all the time, and it's the most amazing medicine we have.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you made that clear now.
Absolutely.
I fucking love that, and you tricked me.
Yeah. Think about it.
Okay, that was actually
that's
really
where
cool.
exactly our fears also come from.
Yeah,
It's a placebo as well, majority of the time,
Yeah.
unless it is physical threat.
yeah.
And majority of us are getting feared because of the media tells us to be
Yeah, I love
scared
that.
of something or the other,
That
right?
was fucking funny.
I absolutely love that.
There you go.
That was good, Varoon. We need to meet more often.
Yeah.
I'm game. You just call me and I'll be here.
Come back next week then.
I'm here until Thursday.
Yeah, when
You're
you're
here
here
until
until Thursday,
Thursday,
but then you're not gonna be here next weekend, right?
No,
No.
Because we have this live podcast on Sunday. We would love to have you there, but
I would love to.
it must be next time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we'll see if we can work together.
Yeah.
I would like to discuss with you both about how we can work
Yeah,
together.
of course.
For sure.
And I would like to come back more
In
often.
due time. You remember?
Yeah.
This is more than a year ago where I introduced you guys together for the first time, and you didn't get to meet because I was like, you guys have to meet.
Yeah.
And I knew at that time that you guys were gonna meet.
Yeah.
And here we are,
Here we are.
1.5 years later. So
It's
all of
crazy.
those other things, they will come to fruition for sure,
When they need to.
because we're all doing it out of passion.
Yeah.
We're all doing it out of
Absolutely.
the fact that we love it, and we're not gonna change our minds.
Absolutely. I'm here if there is any requirement for me to be here. You guys let me know if there is a
sure.
possibility that we can work together, or if I need to move here, let me know. I'm open to doing that as well, because I'd love to. My job, my purpose is to travel and meet people and educate about these simple
Yeah,
things
absolutely.
in life.
And where can people find your stuff if they want to?
Yeah.
Where?
Where? Oh, they can find me on Instagram. Just find my name.
What is it?
What is your name?
Official Varoon. You can just find me there, or Mooladhara organization, Mooladhara Ukraine. I've worked with the United Nations, UNHCR.
We will
also
place
a
the
couple
tags
times.
in the
Yeah,
in
you
the
can-
description.
You can
Yeah.
find me there.
Yes.
Or if anyone needs to contact me, I'm okay to exchange contacts also.
We
I
know
so
you are
choose.
that. Yeah.
we'll put
Amazing.
the contacts, and everyone that wants, they can do it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Other than that, until
So
Until
we
then,
see you again.
amazing episode, and thanks for bringing your knowledge and sharing it with
Pleasure.
us. Yeah.
Yes.
take more gummies.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.